Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. How are you feeling today? It's that time of the week. It's that time of the week. You know what time it is. We're doing a Ripple video. I probably should have done it yesterday, but as you guys know, I told you this whole next week's gonna be pretty busy, and I'm gonna be out of town next week, so we gotta do this now. There's only the moment of now to address this issue, and we're gonna cover the news that came out yesterday. That's why I probably would have made the video yesterday. XRP is being sued, or Ripple Labs is being sued. Also, we have a few articles about Ripple and XRP that we're gonna look at, and we're gonna do some just basic breakdowns for some of our last videos, as well as just look at some other creators. There's a few content creators that are out there talking about Ripple Labs and why it's a scam, or why you'd want to stay away from a banker coin. We're going to cover all that. We're going to do all the things, all the XRP things. So we've got XRP, piles of XRP news, piles of Ripple news. We're going to look at a bunch of the articles that broke. We're going to look at some other crypto creators' videos talking about Ripple being a scam. And we're going to do some quick little drawings, some little charts. We'll pull up some price predictions. We'll do the whole thing. We're going to do the whole thing, a full Ripple video. Here we go. Roll that intro. Before we go into more Ripple price predictions and Yahoo nonsense, let's look through some of these articles that have popped up yesterday and today. We have the Ripple XRP being sued. This came out yesterday. I don't know. I don't even know if we need to cover this, but it's definitely something that, since it's on CoinDesk, people are going to be talking about it. People think it's probably an issue. I mean, I'm excited to see the outcome of the case. I can't imagine there is any way they would necessarily be penalized for people putting their money into a token and losing it. That seems like pretty self-explanatory. They gambled their money, they lost it. I'm sorry if that happened to them. Again, as we always say, cryptocurrencies are a zero-sum game. The money's not just coming out of nowhere. If you're gonna make a gain, that's somebody else's money, or was, now it's yours. If you make a loss, you just gave your money to somebody because you didn't read the market right, or you didn't read the charts right, or you done up. It's just money. I don't know, try again tomorrow. Or stop playing in crypto and go get a different job. I don't know. Okay, investors suing Ripple because XRP is a security, apparently. An investor who claims that they lost money buying and selling Ripple, they filed a class action lawsuit against the distributed ledger startup, alleging that the company violated state and federal security laws. I mean, Ripple just declaring they're not a security doesn't necessarily clear them from the repercussions of being a security, but I don't know. It's hard. Law is so reactive, and for the most part, a lot of this is all so new. It's hard to say what's going to happen with this. U.S. federal law requires companies selling securities to register with the SEC. Whether a financial instrument qualifies as a security depends on the Howey test. And again, we're going to have to just wait for this to hit and for them to go through it in court, because we don't know. It hasn't been decided, but this is happening. The court case has been pushed forward. People suing, I think 600 people maybe have gotten together to sue Ripple. Why? This other article came out today. Ripple, the most amazing raw material in the crypto world. I feel like maybe they watched one of my videos, because this is pretty much what I'm suggesting in all my price prediction videos, is that Ripple's not just a token by itself right now, but it's actually a potential raw material for a lot of use cases in the crypto sphere. Now, even without Ripple being adopted for more use cases as a raw material, as the blockchain could potentially be a raw material for other utilities, other than that, even without that, Ripple still holds pretty strong. Ripple still has a degree of authority in my mind because of the position they've placed themselves by having a whole technology lab company create them, and they have obviously a team working, to ensure the resilience of the chain. They're working to distribute their ledger with the unique node list. Also yesterday, the news broke that XRP to the USD tether is being paired in Binance. That was something that we called like 2 weeks ago because of the misinformation around the Bloomberg article that was released to the USD to XRP pair. That USD to XRP pairing was misinformation, but because of that, I said, you know what, Binance is probably going to pull an XRP to the Tether pairing, and that's exactly what they did. So yesterday, XRP was paired to the USD Tether in Binance.
Greetings, I am Buzz Lightyear.
This is something that I think is important. We're going to look at this guy's video. He's calling Ripple a scam, but we're going to be really respectful and nice. I think one of the most important things that I personally would like to work on, and by me stating that, I really mean you guys should work on that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm working on it too. But something I think that happens a lot is we don't actually have a safe space to communicate. We no longer give each other a safe space to have an open dialogue. We're either part of a camp and a belief and a party, and we agree with it, like confirmation bias. Why? Or we don't, and we won't even listen to the arguments of the other side. This is a dangerous place to be in. And I feel like we quickly are erasing any of the safe places to have an open discussion. You know, we're on social media. Pretty much all of our algorithms are focused on us maintaining our confirmation bias in our community. You know, we're out having a discussion in the real world. Someone says something, we disagree, we just walk away. And what happens over and over again, if we repeat this for years, is we no longer have the capacity to entertain or take part in a conversation, an open conversation. You know, this is dangerous. This is where we are headed because I think we don't practice anymore. Like, we don't have a safe space for us to stand around or hang out and communicate with people who have opposing views. One of my favorite YouTube videos that I've seen recently was these two people sitting down face to face with each other. I think it was a rap video or something, and it was obviously a production. Someone did it for the effect they were giving. But you know, the idea of us being able to have a conversation, even if we disagree, is important. Because how else are we going to be able to learn and share and open up ideas? I think that's something that we should all consider, being more receptive to ideas we don't agree with.
Has he had a long history of mental illness?
As long as I've known him.
And being able to entertain the conversation that could take place between these ideas. So we're looking at this guy's video. He's calling Ripple a scam, and I kind of like his channel, this Decentralized Thought channel. He does a cool job. He does a cool video. They're nice. We're going to just go through his video and look at why he thinks Ripple is a scam. And this, honestly, this was me before I changed my mind. And sometimes people think like, oh, man, like sometimes you might shy away from changing your mind because you think like, well, I don't want to be wrong. Well, if you never change your mind, that means you're always wrong. If you're still doing it the same way now, you've done it forever, then you're doing it wrong. You have to improve yourself. There has to be a degree of refinement and like willingness to be like, I was wrong, I changed my mind, now I'm trying to do better.
I'll say, now stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing. Go!
If you never allow yourself that space to be wrong, then you're definitely never gonna be right. And it's not about being right or wrong anyway. It's about just, you know, bettering yourself and being well informed. So why would XRP be considered a scam? We're gonna watch this video. Let's just see what this guy says. Ripple a scam, etc., etc.
Price of XRP reaching the second highest spot in the coin market cap was.
So Ripple was literally nowhere. It was like worth a few pennies, and then it blew up. I think it mainly blew up because of the mainstream media's attention that it gave it. I don't know if that was a PR move by Brad Garlinghouse or who necessarily pulled that, but XRP to the moon. To the moon. So it took off. It came out of nowhere.
Financial middlemen. Fast forward to today, when financial middlemen.
So this is the part I was talking about. We often in the cryptosphere are looking to destroy the banks, and I like that idea. Except for we're not trying to destroy the banks. We're trying to destroy the malicious financial rigging system that's literally set up to devalue your store of value in your lifetime. Okay, there's a little different. There's possibly a slight difference between just saying the word bank and then saying the words fractional reserve banking system based off of, you know, inflationary fiat notes. Like, it's a little different. I don't know.
You didn't know? Well, now you do. I don't like it spicy.
Maybe not. But yeah, let's just lump it all together into the one word bank for now. That makes sense.
XRP is the second highest market cap.
This happens a lot too. Because it's successful, you want to hate it. Don't necessarily do that. Like if something blows up and it becomes successful, it either pulls on two of your emotional reactions. You're either like going to jump on board because it's successful, or you're going to hate it because it's successful. But neither one of those is actually based off of the actual stimulus of the event. Instead, they're based off of your previous assumption on which one you'd like to relate to. That's kind of stupid, honestly. I mean,
Let me bring you up to speed.
especially if you're looking at this from an investment. If you're okay, well, pause. I just said investment. I'm not a fiduciary. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not here giving you financial advice. But if you're going to consider anything an investment, remove your emotional attachment to one of the concepts. Okay, look at it from logic, not from emotional attachment.
The banks maintain.
Okay, so right here you can see our assumptive issue with the banks is now blinding us from our ability to see the utility of the token. We've decided because it's for the banks and we hate banks, it must not be for us. And this type of thinking is riddled with fallacies, and it's also not serving us. And we can look at why we don't like the token and actually discuss that. But just blindly saying it's for the banks, we don't like it, is dangerous. It's a dangerous space there, decentralized thought.
There's a huge misunderstanding that Ripple and XRP, the same thing. They're not.
Okay, this is definitely real. He does a good job here breaking down that XRP, the token, is not Ripple Labs. But Ripple Labs did make XRP, and they do have a bunch of other cross-border payment solutions like XVIA and XCurrent and Interledger. What he doesn't cover here is that XVIA and XCurrent are basically like a beta test for XRapid. So you could say like, yeah, they're not using XRapid, the XRP token, they're using XCurrent and XVIA, but Ripple Labs has a switch, a backdoor switch. As soon as they want, they can just flip that switch and it ports all those transactions and all those exchanges into their XRapid system. It's literally a switch they can flip, and the only thing that changes is the store of value. The bridge currency they'd be using would be, instead of fiat, it'd be XRP. And this is a big move. I mean, you can say whatever you want about the pre-mined whatever, or the company holding 60% or whatever, but when you look at the Federal Reserve and its function for literally selling the banknotes to our Treasury Department that creates loans to buy these banknotes, we are always at a deficit. We're always paying more for the dollar than we're getting, which means that we'll always be broke. We're in debt to the Federal Reserve forever. I don't know about you, but if you're following what I'm saying, if the Federal Reserve had set up their monetary creation system the same way that XRP had developed, or that Ripple Labs had developed XRP, then we would be paying our way out of the debt to the Fed instead of being in more and more debt, because the value of XRP is going to increase.
Because I win.
This is bullshit.
Our currencies are hyper-deflationary. They're literally dropping in value every moment. And in our lifetime, I say this a lot, I know, but in our lifetime, our US dollars lost 80% of its value. Imagine if we had stored our value in a currency that had gained 80% of its value in our lifetime. I don't know, maybe, possibly, if we gave up this like war on the banks, we could look at maybe the banks are the problem. It's just the people who are running the banks. It's the people who have been making the banks function the way they are. The centralized bank, even the concept of a centralized bank, sounds bad when you look at the way we're doing it now. But if you looked at the idea of a centralized banking system, if it was beneficial to the people, why wouldn't we want one? I don't know. There's a lot of things you have to reevaluate sometimes and think like, is this actually the issue, or is the issue something else that we need to address? As he says right here, he's correct. The real use case for XRP is a bridge currency, meaning that there's not a lot of, we don't want necessarily people to have huge Nostro and Vostro accounts with XRP in them. In fact, that's the solution XRP provides. The solution they provide is to remove those accounts. We don't need to have huge piles of fiat laying around in bank vaults. Moving forward.
Use case for XRP if it isn't for the banks to use. Funding. unlike most cryptocurrencies, 100% of the 100 billion...
So he said, unlike most cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, a great degree of cryptocurrencies that are being created right now do not have a mineable feature. Most of these coins are pre-mined. And what's the benefit of it? In reality, if there's another way to decentralize the nodeless than having people mine coins, is this a usable solution? I don't know. So yeah, 100% of the tokens are created out of thin air. A lot of the new tokens are created that way. I don't know if that just immediately means it's worthless. It does, but because it was pre-mined, it does put it into possible regulation bracket for coins that are considered, maybe they're considered securities because people paid for them instead of mining them. That might be an issue moving forward. It might come up in that lawsuit we were talking about.
Not mined, not backed by any commodity, simply created and sold to the public at 100% profit to fund their developments.
I can understand that this might be something that people don't like. If you don't like Ripple Labs, then yeah, you're not going to be very happy about them taking your money to fund their projects. But let's say you bought into the substratum ICO. You're like, the substratum ICO I like. That ICO, the initial coin offering for the ICO, was you giving your money to them so they could build a product, so they could build their system. You literally are funding their system. So whether or not you like the idea, that's what you're doing when you buy anything. You buy water from Coca-Cola, you're funding their business. You buy gas from Exxon, you're funding their business. No matter what, your power in the consumer model is your dollar. If you don't know that, your power is your dollar. I mean, literally the entire system functions on us. We are the fuel for the system. So yeah, you're funding their Ripple Labs when you invest. And actually, because of how much money they had accrued with people buying into their token, they donated $30 million in XRP to local schools and charities and other like churches and stuff like that. That was cool. That was a strong move. That was them saying, look, we're not just here to profit from our work. We're here to build up the community, to build up and benefit everyone. And I thought that was a solid move for them to do that. I don't think I've seen a single other team donate millions of dollars in their token to charities. So
okay.
It brings nothing new to the table and falls short of pretty much any other coin in the top 100 spot.
That's all opinion. I mean, it brings nothing new to the table. That's really ballsy to say, since they've been developing XRP. Ripple Labs has been working on this since 2014. Bringing nothing new to the table, that's very insulting for someone who's brought a lot of new stuff to the table. But I don't know, whatever. That's cool. It's his opinion. I can respect it.
So why is the price going up?
Why is the price going up?
People are assuming the banks are going to want their XRP and drive up the price.
No. No one's assuming the banks want XRP. No one thinks the banks want XRP. What the banks want is to keep letting the banks run everything. But again, we're just muddling terms. Like, the banks? Who are they? What is this they and the banks? Like, you can't just lump everybody into one category and say they, the banks.
Get this. You can't just lump things into two categories. Things aren't that simple.
The lifeline is divided that way.
Well, life isn't that simple. I mean, who cares if Ling Ling returns the wallet and keeps the money? It has nothing to do with either fear or love.
Like, who knows what they, the banks, want, other than maybe the 1 or 2 or 3 or 400 banks that know what they want. What do banks want? What do banks want? I don't know. People assuming that banks want XRP. Banks don't want XRP. Banks want money. Banks want money. What is XRP? It saves them money. They have to pay to send money all over the world. These Nostro Vostro accounts that they're spending billions of dollars to keep open, that costs them money. Yeah, the utility of these cross-border payment solutions saves them money. This is not that hard to follow. This isn't rocket science, okay? The financial institutions have a business. They run a business. XRP is a utility token. It provides a utility. I don't even think I need to go much further.
My old man, he didn't help either. The time I was kidnapped, they sent back a piece of my finger. He said he wanted more proof.
I don't even think we're going to do any drawings in this video. I feel like this is like a 45-minute video, and we've literally covered nothing new. These are all the things we've done in my last videos. We have so many XRP videos. I feel like you guys just don't... Alright, I'm not going to yell at you guys anymore. We've covered a lot of this stuff. It's in other videos.
Okay.
There's not a likely scenario where the banks go out on the open market and buy small amounts of XRP at a time.
I agree. I agree with this. There's not a likely scenario that they're going to go buy XRP. Probably because Ripple Labs will give them XRP, and them using it will burn it. And that's what will create the, that'll increase its value. That's about it.
XRP is a token that may or may not ever be used, that is 100% pre-mined, designed to fund Ripple Labs for the development of...
So, the points he's making right here are valid points, but they're not specific to XRP. Let's go back. What does he say? XRP is a token that may or may not ever be used. That's 100% mined. Place any token name right there. Any token is a token that may or may not be used, and if it wasn't mined, then it's 100% pre-mined. That's a pretty basic statement to apply to anything.
That is 100% pre-mined, designed to fund Ripple Labs.
Every token that's in existence, especially all the ERC-20 tokens, all the ICO tokens, almost every single token in the 1,600 tokens created is designed to fund the company that developed the product to improve the product. That's just how it works. This isn't like record-breaking ground. This isn't a huge announcement. This isn't big news. This is just a blatant statement of, obviously, any money you give to any of these ICOs is money that they're going to use to develop their product. Yep, that's true. I can agree with that.
That improve the banking industry.
It's not necessarily going to improve the banking industry for the bankers. It's going to maybe improve the banking industry for the people. I don't know. I'm all about looking at the utility for the people. And that's what gets me going. That's what gets me excited about this. And if Ripple Labs is the first cryptocurrency to offer an out for the bankers, like, hey, look, I know you guys have been dicking around with this fractional reserve banking for a long time, and you probably know it's not going to go that much further. If you guys want to actually move into a working blockchain cryptocurrency we made, we got one for you. You can move into it if you want to. We need to look at what we want. Where's the end game? What's the goal here? And for me personally, I don't know if Ripple is going to necessarily win out in the end. I can't say for sure XRP is going to be the token, but they've done a good job working hard to provide a utility to the old world financial institutions and still maintain somewhat of a semblance of the crypto sphere's approach to currency. They're kind of melding both worlds, and maybe the bankers won't like them and they'll get dropped behind. Maybe that lawsuit will declare them a security, and everyone will suffer financial repercussions of their investments, or not. It's hard to say. And anybody that says that they know for sure what's going to happen is lying. They don't know. No one knows. Everyone's waiting to see. If you can call it and you know what's about to happen, then do it. Tell me what's going to happen. That's pretty much what's happening right now with Ripple. Super update. Either you like it or you don't. No one's weighed in yet. There's a big lawsuit. It's not at $1 yet. It's still at 90 cents. But Bitcoin, as of just a moment ago, Bitcoin is about to break 10K, I think. Right now, maybe? Nope, it just dropped back a little bit. It was at 995, and then everyone's getting excited. My friend texted me, Bitcoin 10K, TC. My brother texted me too. Next stop, Bitcoin 10-2. I was like, of course it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen, but there's a big wall of resistance at 10K. So things are looking good. The crypto market's up. We're still above 450 billion. We were headed to 470 billion. XRP is being sued. People are still debating whether or not it's going to do anything, if it's a strong utility, if it's a strong company, if it's a strong investment. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing for the video, okay? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click that like button, give me a thumbs up, and tell me if you have always been a Ripple supporter, if you've always been an XRP supporter. Do you hate XRP? Did you just come around to XRP? Are you not emotionally involved in XRP at all and you're just looking at it from an investment standpoint and you want to make money, I'd love to know. Tell me more. As always, I appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Brought to you.